Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's event. Thank you so much to everybody joining us today. My name is Juana Estrada, and I am the event manager here at Latinas in Tech. I'm going to wait a couple minutes to allow for our audience to join us. But as we're waiting for our rest of our attendees to join us today, please feel free to add in the chat where you're joining us from. I am joining us from Chicago. Today was actually a beautiful day in the city, well, comparatively to how it is around this time of the year. It's been pretty cold in the city, but today was very, very sunny and also not as cold. I think we were like in the mid 30s today. So I will take that over slushy snow and cold below zero weather any day. I see a lot of us are joining us from California. Very jealous of all of you guys. Please bring me back some sunshine. And before we begin, I just want to welcome you guys all and encourage you guys. I know that this event, typically our events are hosted as webinars, but we actually want you guys to interact with one another and also too with our sponsored partners for today's event. But just for courtesy, before we begin the breakout room portion of the event, we ask that you remain muted throughout the event, just courtesy to our speakers and presenters today. There will be time towards the end of the event to join our breakout rooms, or you can meet members of the Accenture team for today's event. But until then, please, courtesy to just all of us who are joining us today that is not part of the event, just remain muted throughout the presentation. And with that, I think I'm going to begin. We're at 7:02. So, Kat, if you don't mind going to the next slide. And as mentioned, welcome to today's event. My name is Juana Estrada, and I am going to be today's moderator, but also too, I am the event manager here at Latinas in Tech. And I welcome you guys all to a very insightful and also very interactive event curated and brought to you by Latinas in Tech and Accenture. Today we're going to be discussing how to navigate a career in consulting as a Latina. Next slide. But before we begin, I want to just welcome you guys all to today's event and also to our network. If you guys are new to our network into Latinas in Tech, we welcome you with open arms, and we encourage you guys to go onto our website and become a member of our network. The easiest way to do that is to go on to latinasintech.org and simply register on our website. And then you will be part of our 1,700 plus network that we have all across the country and around the globe. And so when you ask us, what do we do to provide you guys opportunities to connect and grow as Latina in Tech? We do that by 3 major keys, and that is by providing you guys professional development opportunities, recruitment opportunities, and also by offering you guys chances to meet other women within tech like yourself who are ready to grow and advance in their careers. Next slide. So as mentioned, when you become a part of our membership, you have full access to our 20 plus chapters all across the country, and we do also have chapters internationally in Mexico and Canada. We have some in Spain and also in Latin America. So with that being said, you have access to all of these chapters and also individual events hosted by these chapters. We have a large network of women, and because of that, we are able to provide you guys events like today, where we're able to provide you direct connections and also opportunities to connect with recruiters, such as the center of today's event. Next slide. And so without further ado, before we begin today's event, I would love to encourage you guys, as mentioned, to continue to chat and use the chat as a forum to ask questions, to interact with one another, share information with each other, network with one another. But also too, for today's purpose of today's event, please remain muted throughout the presentation and the panel discussion that we have going on today. And we do have a portion of today's event allocated for you guys to connect and network with our recruiters. That will be towards the end of our discussion. But before then, to all of our members who are joining us, please remain on mute just courtesy of our speakers for today. Next slide. Without further ado, I would now like to open the floor to our Managing Director of Accenture, Luz Esperanza.
Hi, Juana. Thank you so much for the introduction. So hello, everyone. My name is Luz Esparza. And as I put into the chat, I'm from Los Angeles. I've been working with Accenture now for over 20 years. So I did start straight out of college. Graduated with Bachelor's of Science in Electrical Engineering, and went into an info session where I learned a little bit about consulting and decided to try it out. And so I like to say that every year I'm still trying it out. But I'm going to spend a little bit of time telling you a little bit more about Accenture. So we can move to the next slide. So who is Accenture? So let me tell you, we are over 670,000 people strong worldwide. That's over 200 cities and across 50 countries. Within Accenture, we operate at the heart of our clients' businesses, helping them address the most complex and mission critical issues. We have relationships with 6,000 clients, serving over 9,100 of the Global 100 and 75% of the Fortune Global 500. I would like to say, and I'm very proud that for over 97 of our top 100 clients, we've been there for over 10 years. So we're building lasting relationships with each one of the clients that we work with. We can move on to the next slide. So who are we? What kind of services do we provide? So we do provide a wide range of consulting services to our clients, from strategy and consulting to interactive to technology and operations. And I have colleagues here on the phone today. When you go into our breakout sessions, I can tell you a little bit more about what they do in each one of their areas. But to give you an idea, what makes us unique from our competitors, and our competitors such as Ernst & Young and Deloitte, is that we are the only consulting company with the ability to combine and integrate all these capabilities, from a strategy to your digital landscape, to running the technology, and ultimately running your operations, all within scale across the world and with a lens on what makes your industry unique from a client perspective. If we can move on to the next slide. So what is consulting? And this is probably a question that many of you are asking, especially if you're coming back from a science or engineering degree, very similar to myself back in my senior year of college. Consulting is all about change. So for those of you who are interested and are challenged by change, or look at change as a catalyst, consulting may be something for you to consider. We provide everything from services to our clients. We focus on the industry. So for those of you who are studying financials or potentially aeronautics, we do look at it from an industry lens. And we also look at the various skills that folks have and bring those to bear for our clients as we look at the various solutions that we bring forward. So overall, Accenture leverages the breadth and depth of all our capabilities across those three circles you see there in the triangle. And more importantly, it's the talent of our people. So all of us here within Accenture that bring this service to our clients. So let's move to the next slide. So you as a consultant, what does that look like for you a day in a life? What would it look like? First of all, one, you're going to gain exposure to a wide variety of work. That was one of the key things that I found interest when I went into that info session as a senior in college. I'd been studying to become a chip designer and found the work to be very narrow. What I enjoyed about consulting and what I've learned in the last 20 years is that no day is ever the same, nor is the fact that I'm always learning a new skill every day. So you have control of your own career path and leveraging your skills as well as your network. You're going to gain valuable experience. You're going to be able to dabble across very different technologies as well as different types of industries, which only grows your personal experience. Number two, you're always networking and you're always meeting new people. For my friends out there who love to meet new people, this is a great place for you to come and network, not only within Accenture, but you'll be networking with all the various clients that we work with. And third, a very important part that we take pride in here within Accenture is looking for work-life balance. We want to make sure that everyone who's here is pursuing not only their career aspirations, but has that time to take time away to be with their families. So we move on to the next slide. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Accenture culture. So these are our core values and pillars. And I want to make it very clear to everybody that these pillars we live every day, not only in our daily lives, but also as part of our overall performance. So when we evaluate and look at our performance across the year, we're looking at how well we did across each one of these pillars, from stewardship to making sure we attract and hire the best people and retain, to making sure that we leverage and unify across one global network. We're all tied together with a common vision to create value creation for our clients. And more importantly, it's all about respecting the individual and what each individual brings to the table, but also the integrity upon which we work with each other and bring value to our clients. If you move to the next slide. All right, so one last thing here I wanted to introduce is our employee resource group. So this goes back to our focus on our people and how we like to create a big global network. We have various employee resource groups ranging from gender to ethnicity that help support our folks, not only in their career aspirations, but also supporting local events where we partner with various nonprofits to bring awareness and elevate each one of our communities wherever possible. We move to the next slide. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and let the rest of my colleagues introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about themselves before we skip to the panel.
Thank you so much, Liz, for that introduction of Accenture and providing us more information regarding what your organization has to offer to our audience today. With that, I would now like to open the floor for some introductions to our lovely panelists today. Today, you will be joining us to a discussion followed by our four amazing panelists from Accenture: Naomi Perez, Alejandra Flores, Patricia Wiebel, and Dora Gerardo. Ladies, I would now like to open the floor for you guys to briefly give your introduction of who you guys are and also to just your journey in your career and where you are today at Accenture.
Thank you. I'll go first. Hello, everyone. My name is Noemi Perez, and I live in Denver with my husband and two dogs. I am an associate director in our technology practice, and I'm also an inclusion and diversity advocate. I started my career similar to Luz right after college, actually 10 days right after. I graduated with a bachelor's in business administration with concentration in computer information systems and marketing. I'm a first generation Mexican American, so I came from a family of little means, and I was just eager to get started working. I had no idea what consulting was about, but I knew whatever it was, I could figure it out. I've always been driven and motivated to do better in life. And so that's really what has gotten me to where I am now. I've always just worked hard to do what I needed to do, learn things. It's very dynamic work, just as Luz explained. No day is the same. So from the start of my career, I've been very motivated. And even on my first project, that really set the path to where I am now, was the deployment of a new HR payroll solution for this company that was divesting locally. And ever since then, I've been involved in leading large-scale global implementations for HR technology solutions, either SAP or Oracle. And so that's what I continue to do. But again, no day is the same. I'm very excited to be here with you guys, and hopefully I can share a little bit more through the panel or in the debriefs later on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Alejandra? Or Patricia or Dora, whichever one of you guys would like to go next.
Can you not hear me?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. My name is Alejandra Flores. I've been with Accenture for about 2.5 years. Upon graduation, I joined Accenture after graduation from the University of Washington, where I studied finance and international business. I was interested in consulting after 4 years of internships in the finance industry, where I realized that I was very interested in understanding new technologies, and that was my inspiration in pursuing a career in technology. Ever since joining Accenture, I've been in the software and platform space now as a product manager. And please let me know if you have any questions about casing. I'm also a dreamer, so I'm really excited to be here and being part of this community. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I am Patricia Wiebel. I have been with Accenture for almost 3 years now. I am a management consultant in our talent and organization T&O, what we call our T&O practice. I specialize as of recently in finance transformations. I did not come into the firm fresh out of undergrad. I actually had a few lives prior to. I did a few years in education, and I had a career in sales for quite some time before getting into consulting here on the West Coast. I also, similar to what Normie discussed around SAP and Oracle transformations, that is also my space. I'm very open to answering any questions about career transitions into consulting. It's very different from being in industry. I'm also a transplant to the West Coast. So I saw in the chat earlier, we had a lot of East Coasters and a lot of folks from the tri-state. So shout out to Jersey and New York. So very happy to be on the panel and excited for any questions you bring my way today.
Thank you so much for sharing. And last but not least, Dora, I open up the stage for you.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm Dora. I'm a manager out of the Los Angeles office in our consulting practice here at Accenture. And I also serve as a co-lead for our Hispanic American Employee Resource Group, which Luz had mentioned before. We do have a lot of employee resource groups. I joined the firm in 2017, so this is back right after undergrad. So I went to USC for my bachelor's and my master's in mechanical engineering. So all you engineers out there, hello. And I currently at Accenture, I focus primarily in the energy sector within the electric utility space. And I'll kind of share more about my progression to consulting, what I do now, et cetera, and a few questions to come. But nice to meet you all.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your patience too as we navigate this multifaceted of windows that we have going on right now. But I now would love to open up the discussion now to all of us who are part of the panel of this discussion and begin to learn more about how you learn about your career in consulting. I know that Accenture offers so many opportunities to you guys and to all of our networks here today, but I would love to learn more about how you got involved within consulting at Accenture. Either Patricia or Dora.
Sure, I'm happy to go first. I actually, a friend of mine that I met in college is actually how I got into consulting. This person has basically, through my whole career journey, listened to me get really excited about starting a job or a career path. And then after about 2-3 years, start complaining that it was boring, that I wasn't making the progress that I wanted, and kind of just getting burnt out very quickly. And so I think after about 12 years of listening to this cycle of complaints, they were like, why don't you just give consulting a try? I think you'd really be into it. I think you'd be good at it. But unlike the rest of the panelists, I'm not good at math. I love technology. I like to use it. I think it's fascinating. But the when I think about technology, and there's a lot of math involved, and I just never saw myself as that kind of person. So I never thought I could fit in this space. And he really brought out a lot of information. He really coached me and gave me a lot of information about, there's a lot of things that go on around the implementation of technology. And there's a lot of roles around consulting that aren't necessarily so intimately involved with the technology. So I gave it a shot. He was right. I'm able to apply my ability to understand it, but also bring in a lot of the soft skills and my teaching experience into, well, how do we help our end users, and how do we help our clients use this technology that we're giving them? So that's my journey into the field.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Dora?
Okay. Hey again. So as I mentioned just right now, I'm an engineer by trade, right? So did that for school, and I always thought that that's what I wanted to do. So I did in undergrad, I did internships in the oil industry, another view of energy, and did all that fun stuff. And again, I thought that's what I wanted to do. I was part of a leadership team of an organization called the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, kind of a mouthful, at a ship. And during my senior year, I had a lunch with an Accenture person, right? And we were having lunch, and we were just trying to figure out, how do we strategize for the year? How do we make best use of Accenture for our members, all of that. And while I was talking to him, I've had events in the past where Accenture has come to speak to us, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, consulting, sure. But this was kind of the first time that I was really able to kind of talk to him a little more candidly on exactly what he does, because he also had an engineering background, and just kind of poking his brain and asking him, what can I do? What is possible for me? And that kind of started the whole process of me looking at Accenture as a potential employer and seeing what I could do. He recommended that I was already going to this conference, the STEM conference, and he recommended I talk to Ilenia, who a lot of people on this call probably know. She used to be our diversity recruiter. Recommended I talk to her. I did, and that kind of got the process going. I interviewed. The next thing you know, I had an offer, and started at Accenture 4.5 years ago in San Francisco, and have been here since.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that. I love how both of you and Patricia both shared about how you guys were able to utilize your network that you guys had to get to where you are in your career within consulting, which is a really great transition to our next question regarding how your network played a big role in how you progress in your career, right? I think, especially as Latinas, we definitely have to tap into our network to gain that perspective, to gain that knowledge too, and also support. But Naomi or Luz, how has it played a role in your career progression?
Yes, thank you, Juana. So it's actually played a critical role in my career progression. They help in all things, right? So to start simple, they can help you get staffed. So obviously there's people within Accenture that help you get staffed in your first project, maybe your second or third. But as you grow your career, you have a network, and they help you in that right project that's going to have the right role for you to progress to the next level. So they're very critical in that aspect. And while you're in a project, or say you become a lead in a project, you are going to need help getting it staffed with, potentially people that you don't know from your network. They'll help you out. Or if you're having a challenge or a question or something that you hadn't experienced before in a project, that you need to reach out to your network of experts to help you get it resolved. They, give you ideas, etc. So it's very critical in that aspect. Then there's also the aspect around sales pursuits, which you'll eventually come to at Accenture, right? As part of my role, I also support and lead sales pursuits. So in there, they also help with addressing any client-specific requests as part of a sales process. They help you respond to the RFPs, the request for proposals, which leads to a win, right? More work for Accenture, which leads to meeting your sales targets, which leads to ultimately a promotion. So again, the network is very critical. And I would say, even in the promotion cycle or the performance cycle, it's very important that you have people in your corner advocating for you. That's something that I think it took me a little bit longer in my career to really understand the importance. So they are absolutely critical. You want to have that person in your corner that's rooting for your progression, and even to think about you for opportunities of what you could be doing to get that next promotion, be it the right role in a project, or you need to do some internal role, as we call them, something within Accenture to help build the visibility that you need to ultimately get that promotion. So they're absolutely critical, and they have been to my career progression.
Very valuable points there. I hope everybody's taking notes as far as that. That was very, really good. Thank you for sharing. Luz, would you like to provide some insight?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to what Naomi was saying, and some of our other panelists, Dora and Patricia brought this up, right? They started a network with the very connection they made on a college campus. Whether you went to lunch or went to an info session provided by another company, you're already starting networking at that point. And network it's a two-way street, right? You're going to learn from those folks, and they're also going to learn from you. But as Naomi stated, it's that network that you create that creates a tissue, that I like to think of it, that allows you to make connections. And as you make those connections, you're going to learn about different opportunities. You're going to express your interest in those opportunities, and the people in your network are going to remember you by saying, hey, I remember talking to Luz and she was interested in this opportunity. And so that's kind of how you get knocked on the door and called on. Within Accenture, we're networking all the time. As Naomi pointed out, we are not experts in everything. So I need my collective family, as I like to say, my Accenture family, to help me out. When I'm in situations where I need an expert to come talk to one of my clients, I pull in my friends. Sometimes it could be a random ping, but I love that about the Accenture culture, is that no matter if I need help and they may not know me, with a simple introduction, they're willing to stand up next to me and help me be successful. So just stressing, guys, day one, you're always networking. Remember the people that you meet. It's always a two-way street. And just like they help you get to your next step, you'll one day be helping others as well. So remember that.
I really appreciate that a lot. I think that's a very valuable point to make, that your organization focuses a lot on supporting one another and, almost building that mentorship amongst one another. And it's very true, right? Owning up to the fact that you don't know everything, but you have a team to back you up, to support you, is really critical. So thank you both for that. My next question actually revolves around that, right? I want to ask either one of you guys on the panel, how have you guys identified Latinas or allies in your community and how have you been able to either mentor or find sponsors in that path?
I can take that, Juana. To what they alluded about being purposeful and understanding who you meet and remembering who you meet, it's very valuable for you to remember, because when you're looking for mentors, I think the number one thing, let me backtrack a little bit. The one thing I did was always understand what skills I needed to work on and the priority of those skills. And then I went and leaned on my network, whether it was through ALPHA, which is the Association of Latino Professionals for America, or SHIP, or other undergraduate diversity services organizations within school. I always picked one particular person that I had met previously, right? Or that I wanted to continue building my relationship to target that skill and develop that skill. And with that, it required a lot of organization, self-reflection, and purpose to make sure that you kept sessions focused. They knew exactly what you needed and how you were building that relationship. And then also it's easier for you to track your growth when it is a targeted metric, as I called it. So that is my advice for anybody looking to not just grow their network, but also grow their skills, and making sure that you're tactical about who you ask to be your mentor.
I'd also like to add to it. So like a lot of you on the call, you guys might be able to relate, but I didn't really grow up seeing a lot of Latinas in the spaces that I really wanted to be in. So identifying those people has been pretty hard, even to this point, right? So support I found in the Latinx community really comes from like people I consider my friends. So it's kind of hard to think of them as that mentor-mentee official relationship, since those titles sometimes come with a weirdness, right? Where people don't want to say, oh, you are my mentor, because they have a lot of those established roles, right? So I personally am also not so keen about using those titles, but my biggest, I guess, official support system and mentors and sponsors and all of that are people that aren't Latinx, and some don't identify as women and simply don't look like me, and that's okay. In a very, white male dominated field that is engineering, and I may even argue is like my practice right now. There's those challenges that I've had to face, and I've actually been able to find a lot of my sponsors to be allies, and they're still able to be huge support for me and really go to bat for me in spaces that I don't occupy yet. So I think when it comes to identifying those Latinas and allies, whoever they are, your ultimate goal is really to find that mentor or the sponsor. You want someone that's gonna share your name in spaces that you don't even think you're qualified for, and but they see that something in you, and they see that something that you probably don't even see in yourself. And those are really the people that I think you need to continue to foster that relationship with, and continue to do those catch-ups and do those keep-ups, and make sure that you're keeping them in your circle.
So I think you actually brought up something really interesting, that we can't focus our journey and our approach to finding our mentors based on whether they look like us. But I think it's also really important for us that as we have the opportunity to be in the room, that we find ways to bring other women, other Latinas, Latinos, other people of color into the spaces. Our biggest advocates are always going to be, currently, as Dora mentioned, and Alejandra spoke to, is, our allies, because they're the ones in the room and we aren't. But now, as we are being able to step in, it's, look into your network and encouraging your friends that that are in the sciences or that aren't in the sciences, or in tech and engineering, and bringing them along and sharing that information so that they also get encouraged, because we're kind of in this middle passage. We're the ones kind of in the middle, starting to forge forward a little more. And the more we bring other women, other people along with us, the more of us will eventually be in the room. So it's planting the seed for later.
Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing that. And I definitely agree. I think at the end of the day, it really is valuable to step into your network and really utilize who you have as your allies to push you up as you progress in your careers. Before we finalize our discussions for today, I want to ask one last question revolving about just how can you take action and advocate for Latinos who are pursuing a career in consulting? It looks like a lot of you women here in our panelists today have been speaking about, how again, to network and to ask questions and, to speak for yourself in ways where you can learn more and progress. But how, as you Latinas, have you been able to do that for others? Either Luz or Naomi.
I'll go first. So I'm very lucky to be the inclusion and diversity lead in our Technology West group. And as part of this role, I'm able to advocate for Latinas by working with our talent review board to look at all of our candidates that have submitted a resume or have applied for a role, but that for whatever reason they were not a fit. We can still take these exceptional candidates and look for opportunities elsewhere within our technology group to see if we can make them work for another role or potentially create a new one for them. So that is a great way that I'm able to advocate for Latinas, working with our recruiters, with the HR team and our practice leads to find them another role that they could potentially be a fit, so we don't lose these great candidates that we get in the pipeline. And further to that, since I do have an opportunity to work with our West leaders, we also continuously monitor our recruiting efforts to make sure that we are getting the best sources to attract those Hispanic Americans. Something else I want to mention is I am pretty passionate about mentoring our women. So I actively participate in mentoring programs that are sponsored by, say, our Hispanic American ERG group, or even at the project level. We always strive to grow our people. It's part of our culture. So I definitely look for those opportunities and work with them. Even though they're already hired, we still want to keep them and retain them at Accenture. So I try to be that mentor to at least one or two women during the year, and alternate different women as the opportunities arise. And the last thing I'll say that I'm very happy to participate in, I'm a local apprentice champion for our Denver and Phoenix offices. This is an apprenticeship program that Accenture has created in the last few years to bring different types of candidates that otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity to work at Accenture because they don't have the standard path of getting to us via bachelor's or master's degree. So I am able to mentor them through their one-year apprenticeship with the hope that at the end, they're extended a job offer. And it has been extremely rewarding to have that impact on them. And so I'm happy to continue to do that, because I remember when I started Accenture, I needed to have that mentor to guide me through my career. And now I'm able to pay it forward and do it for these apprentices. So I definitely am very happy to participate in that. And hopefully we can get more Latina women in Accenture that way.
I love that. Thank you so much, Naomi.
Thank you, Naomi. Yeah, I mean, Naomi did a great, she's participating in a lot of the programming that we have here within Accenture with our employee resource groups, especially our Hispanic ERGs. We partner with our local recruiters to make sure that we're providing that representation not only on campus, but also within Accenture. So Naomi talked a lot about bringing the talent in. I'm gonna talk a little bit about advocacy about retaining the talent. So let's play the numbers. If you're a Latina in engineering, one, you're already a woman. So you're probably only 40% of your engineering class if you're lucky, if gender was something in college and they got the 50-50. But then how many Latina women do you actually find in that engineering class? I mean, in my class alone, we started out as 10 and only 2 of us graduated after 4 years in a class of 174. So we're a small population, but I love to say that we're mighty, and wherever I find my Latina techs across the world, I know we're always making an impact. And once you're in the company, I love Accenture for the fact that it allows me the opportunity to advocate, not only for my recruiting, but continue to advocate the women that I meet every day. And I see advocacy as something that I do on a daily basis, making sure that everyone has an opportunity to speak in the room, who are in the room. I like to hear everyone's ideas, and if I see anyone who's not speaking up, I will call on them, because I feel that they may not want to, but I know they have great ideas and they just need to be fostered to bring it out. So that's just me personally. I want to make sure everyone that I work with feels that they're in a warm environment where they can grow and foster their aspirations. But when everyone was saying, being in the room just makes me think of the Hamilton song. You have to want to be in the room, to go up the executive ranks. There has to be a set of fire that drives you to do that, because as you go higher up, there's going to be less people that look like you, yet your allies are there. There are people who are going to be there supporting you and advocating you. And as soon as you walk into the room or are now part of that table, I take it, my personal goal is to make sure I get one other person to join me at the table as well. So I think that's a great my personal goal, and I hope that a lot of you, as you think of your career and you're progressing, kind of think of bringing that 1+1 with you as you get into each one of those rooms.
Thank you so much, Luz. I think that all ladies today shared some very valuable information regarding how to just, utilize your network to grow, right? And I love how Accenture really does promote that across all boards. Before we begin to go into our direct one-on-one sessions with our recruiters and also our panelist members, I want to open up the stage now for questions. We have about 5 minutes, so I'm sorry we don't get to all of the questions that we have in the chat. We have a very active chat right now, so thank you to all of our participants. But I'm going to actually begin to see if we have any questions come in that we would like to ask any of our panelist members. Let's see. I see that somebody's asking if you have any suggestions for undergrad studying in Mexico for internships abroad. This is a really great question. I know that our network is here at Latinas Tech is largely international as well. So how would you suggest or probably even just encourage for somebody who is interested in working at Accenture as an undergrad abroad? Anybody like to answer this question?
I know for a fact that we do internships across globally, and each market or country has different set of rules because each university is slightly different as to how the school year works. But I do know we have internships available, I believe in Mexico, because I work with a lot of our Mexican delivery centers today. I think if you're looking to apply like to North America or like to United States or apply for an internship in Europe, that you're gonna have to work your network a little bit more in those regards, because you are coming in as an international employee. So it creates a little more complexities. It can be done, but it's all about the network and who you know in that company at that point.
Thank you so much for that. And also too, regarding also just recruitment, I see a lot of questions regarding like how do I apply for X job opportunities. Wait for the breakout rooms. We do have directed rooms for that, and we do have a lot of recruiters who can answer those questions for you. I did see a question regarding somebody. This is a really good question. It says, for the ladies who spoke today that joined Accenture after having past lives, what gave you the courage to explore outside of your previous industries? This is a really good question to any of our panelist speakers who would like to tap into this question.
I'm happy to answer that. I basically, I think you have to get to a point where you ask yourself, one, what do I have to lose? Or two, it's just another job. And you have to also take that lens. If you would be willing to leave your current job and go into another role in your industry where you think, things might be the same, and it's kind of a little more of the same, or do I want to try something and kind of put my eggs in the basket and see, am I going to, really challenge myself? Am I, going to put myself in a position where things just really might work out and I can have a very different experience? I will say consulting isn't really for the faint of heart. It's every day really is different. Your challenges can be very unique. And so if that's what you want, I think you have absolutely nothing to lose. So I hope that answers the person's question.
Yeah, I love that answer. You gotta go get it. If that's what you want, you gotta go get it. I love it. I love the energy. Anybody else want to step in to answer this question? We do have one more question before we go into breakout rooms. Our last question before breakout rooms says, why did you choose Accenture over other consulting firms? Anybody would like to tap in to answer this one?
I don't know. I chose Accenture almost 20 years ago. So I think Dora, one of our newest recruits, should say why.
I guess I got called out, right? So Accenture was actually the only consulting firm I looked into, or considered, I should say. And I feel that it was mostly because it was a really good tie between, engineering, what I know, and I just feel like Accenture was more on that technical side of things, and culture-wise, it was a good fit. Talked to other people from other firms, and it just didn't sound like I would fit in. That's kind of about it. Just, it was a good fit.
That's valid too, right? You have to also look where you feel most comfortable when you're going to choose the career path. I did see Alejandra almost answer this question, and before we jump in, I would like to offer you a chance to speak if you would like.
Yeah, I think to add to what Dora said is understand what you want to do within consulting. And again, goes back to purpose. For me, it was understanding technology, and I knew Accenture had the best resources and capabilities for me to get really good and knowledgeable in technology. And that was the reason why. Every consulting firms have their strengths, and it's really important to understand that before you align to a firm.
Thank you so much to you both for answering that question. Well, now, as many of you guys have been asking, how do I apply? Well, this is your moment to do so. We are going to break out into breakout rooms now. Right now, you should be able to see these rooms go live. What you can do is, we have 4 rooms. Our very first room is directed to strategy and consulting. Our second room is interactive. Our third room is focused on technology, and then our fourth room is focused on entry-level opportunities at Accenture. So please feel free to jump into any room you would like. You should now see the rooms be open. You can go ahead and click on them. If on the bottom bar, you should see 3 little dots, and when you click on there, you should see breakout rooms and be able to select which room you would like to go into. I believe we are beginning to go in. Awesome. If you have any questions, stay here on the main stage and we can direct you to that room as needed.
Hey, Juana, it's Kat. I'm here to help in case we need to redirect folks or if anyone in the main room has any questions.
Thank you so much, Kat.
Wait, I do. Hi, Kat. This is Pedro. How do I go into the meeting room again?
Yes. Let me
So,
see.
do you have a specific room you would like to join?
Yes.
I believe it's gonna be one, no?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry.
Strategy and consulting for Pedro.
Yeah. Please. Thank you.
Give me 1 second.
Hi, Kat. I'm also, this is Rocio. I'm also having trouble joining the breakout room number 4 for entry levels. I have a message that states in progress.
Let's see. So did you click on breakout rooms and then scroll down to entry level and then click on join?
I did, and I was directed with the message saying in progress.
Juana, I don't think that the rooms there's a maximum, is there?
No, there shouldn't be a maximum actually.
Can we move her over to entry level?
Are you guys all facing the same issue?
No, I had a question actually.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I think I can try to assign. It was Rocio.
Rocio, right?
I think she went over.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
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 Next question. Was there someone else?
Yeah, so I have a question about joining any specific room. I work currently in research for biomedical technology. So I wanted to see which one you feel would apply a little bit more for me.
I would recommend strategy and consulting. So under strategy and consulting service, we do have a life sciences practice, and then under life sciences, med tech. So you may want to do strategy and consulting.
Yeah,
And
we also have, sorry to interrupt, I used to be a life sciences recruiter before I came into the I&D space. And we have a service called Scientific Informatics that deals with medical and laboratory technologies as well. They also fall under strategy and consulting, but feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn if you want me to connect you directly with that practice as well.
Oh, okay, awesome. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Yep, I'm Judy Ann Medina Golden.
Judy Ann Medina. Okay, thank you so much for that.
No problem.
Thank you, Julian.
Yeah, of course.
Anyone else needed to be put into one of the rooms or have any questions?
I think Rosie might have needed to be put in a room, but I'm not sure which one she needs to be assigned to.
Rosie.
Level.
Hi, Rosie. Are
I
you
can move her.
available?
I think I just moved her.
Thank you.
Thanks, Johnny.
How about the others? Kelly, I think you should go to strategy and consulting. Do you want me to move you? Kelly?
I just moved her. Hopefully she can join.
Who else is not assigned?
Rocio, was she able to move into the entry level?
I'm still here.
Hi, Rocio. Let's see if Kat, can you move Rocio Ambrosio to entry level, please?
Thank you.
Okay, let me try.
Thanks.
Let's see. It shows that Rocio is in entry level, but then she's not highlighted in green.
I think they get like a pop-up on their screen and they have to accept the move.
Rocio, can you hear us?
Yeah, for some reason I thought I was making my way into the breakout room and I'm back. Not sure, and I'm not receiving any message, like a message asking me to join. So not sure what's going on.
Okay, I think that it probably might be
I believe it's now I have the option to join. So I'm gonna try it again. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We got it.
How about the others on the phone? So I see Sonia. Nermeen, I see you're in the main room. Do you want me to move you to technology? Nermeen?
Hi, Kat. Yeah, sure, move me there.
All right, let me. Okay. A few others: Andrew, Betmig, Christelle.
Yeah, sorry, I had to step away. I'm back though. Any room is fine. Wouldn't matter to me.
Is that Andrew?
Yeah, this is Andrew.
Okay, maybe strategy and consulting?
Yes. Yeah, no, that works.
Or what's your
that works. It's an like higher education related.
Okay, I'll move you over to strategy and consulting.
Okay.
And then others in the room, Betmig, Christelle.
I'm wondering if they're just like not on the call right now and they're just away from their computer.
Oh, maybe.
Probably. So we have 8 minutes remaining in the rooms too, by the way. Would you guys like to be put in any other rooms to just check in, or you guys are comfortable right now with here?
I'm just double checking. Judy Ann's strategy and consulting.
I can jump into entry level if I can be of any help in there.
Is that Darby?
In there.
Yes, that's me.
Okay.
I see it.
I will go into tech.
Okay. I'll stay in the main room.
Okay.
Hi, anybody else on the call right now who would like to be placed into one of the breakout rooms? We have about 7 minutes left remaining of this session. Paula, if you're still on the call, you can feel free to hop off now. I really appreciate your support today. I think we should be good from here. I just saw your message, Michelle. Thank you so much for here to support. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, what room are you in?
Strategy and consultant. I actually stepped away, so I missed the button to join the group. Yeah.
You can actually go back into the room by going into the breakout room tab and clicking on the
Okay.
room that you're in.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. Okay. And got it.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries.
All right.
Crystal, are you able to join us in any other rooms? Hello, welcome back, everybody. Hello, welcome back, everyone. Awesome. I think now everybody should be joining us back now. Our breakout room sessions are beginning to wrap up and they'll be closing shortly. I hope that you guys were able to connect with recruiters here at Accenture and get your questions answered as needed. I am beginning to see everybody joining in. It's always really fun to see everybody pop back in after they go into breakout rooms, especially as large crowds. Thank you to everybody who has stuck around for the remainder of the event and who joined us today in the breakout rooms. I really hope that you were able to connect with the recruiters here at Accenture and were able to get answers to your questions. I know that this was only 15 minutes of today that you were able to do so, but I highly encourage you all to connect with each other via LinkedIn, but also to keep an eye out for a follow-up email with more information regarding to today's event as well. And I believe that is everybody, if I'm not mistaken. Awesome. Well, without further ado, this wraps up today's event. Thank you so much to everybody who joined us today, as mentioned. I want to again give a great big shout out to our Accenture team who was today's sponsors event, and also to our amazing panelists who just gave really empowering, insightful information to all of our guests today. So a round of applause to you guys, and thank you so much today for joining us this afternoon. Again, as mentioned, if you're new to our network, please feel free to go on to latinasintech.org and become a member of our 1,700 plus network here at Latinas in Tech. And I also encourage you guys to keep an eye out for the future event for Accenture happening on March 15. So you will have another opportunity to connect with our Accenture teams and to learn more about opportunities at Accenture if you're looking to, just to gather more information. We're going to be getting deeper into how to apply into consulting roles at that event, so I highly encourage you guys to keep an eye out for that to be open. I did receive. Yes, please feel free to register. We encourage allies to be part of our network as well. I mean, as I mentioned today in today's event, right? We encourage allies and mentors of all across the board to be part of our network. So please register at our website. Well, all right. Well, have a good rest of your day. And again, keep an eye out for the event happening on March 15 on our website, and also for a follow-up email about today's event. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.